Oh, Steve's going to see all this. Steve's the editor. He has to watch every bit of this. He gets so tired of me saying The only person that gets more tired of listening to me talk than Steve is my wife. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Let's go build something cool. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to CodyCrafted. You know we bring you the overland content. You know that we bring you the goofy dad jokes. And you know we bring you the hot rod content. But today, we're going to flip the script. This is a whole lot of money on its head right now. Everybody get your roll on. And by roll, I mean that bead roll. Ricky, look at the bead rolls. Shout out to KibbeTech for how gorgeous all this stuff is. I mean, I think we did a pretty good job. And by we, I mean Ricky, because he did all this. I had a little input on how to do it, or how to lay it out. But as far as this silicon bronze action, every bit of this was done by Ricardo. So, well done, sir. Very well done. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. But we got to flip this thing back on its lid. So, grab the forklift, and we got the boom. Let's make it happen. Alrighty, so for those of you who have not been following along on Instagram and or the shorts, this is a chassis built by Ryan Kibbe and company out at KibbeTech in California. It actually is a Bug. That's right, Volkswagen. Mikey had this made over the last couple of years, and it's been here for a number of months. But Mikey's the guy we get all our metal from over in the fab shop, so he knows how busy we've been. The plan all along is for this to have been a fully sealed cab. So this car is going to have air conditioning. Of course, it'll have like the PCI or Rugged Radios headsets. We're going to have nav. It has a 408 LS2, and that motor makes about 560-ish, somewhere in that vicinity. But it is built for boost, so it might wind up with more. The gearbox is it's not a Mendola, it's a Weddle. Sorry. The gearbox is a Weddle clutchless sequential, and this thing is gonna absolutely party. Almost as much as this mustache from Halloween. That's right. All right, so we have got 18 gauge sheet metal all around on the bottom. And that way we got plenty of strength. And there's actually going to be, there's attachment points here, etc., etc., etc. And all that is for a 1/4 inch skid plate made out of 6061 T6 aluminum. So it'll have rock bashing capabilities when it's not just in the dunes. So that is the game plan there. This chassis is 1.5 inch, 120 wall chromoly, and of course boxed arms and boxed and extended rear arms. All the geometry and all the suspension is from KibbeTech. They built the entire chassis, and it is all TIG welded, and it is just flipping gorgeous. So everywhere. So me and the boys are doing our best to do it justice. Ryan, I hope you're seeing this, and I've tagged you a few times in Instagram. You've responded here and there, so I appreciate it. And we just hope to do justice to the work that you guys did on the front end. This whole thing is going to get powder coated. It's going to get the sealed cab. We've got an interesting way to mount the cab to it, but for the time being, we're working on skinning and getting seat mounts done, so that way we can start fitting everything else. So we got to figure out where to put the driver, and we got electronics to mount. We got a fuel cell for it. It's got a 32-gallon fuel cell going in the back, so we should have plenty of fuel for doing all kinds of fun things. Of course, the big kings. We got the 2.5 inch coilovers and the 3.5 inch 4-tube bypasses in the rear, 2.5 inch resi coilovers in the front, with 3.5 inch 1, 2, 3 tube bypasses with the res, and so this thing ought to get it. Ricky, what's your next phase? What's the next thing we need to do in race car world?
I'm gonna finish making templates for the firewall, and then I'm gonna get all that cut out, laid out, and bead rolled, and then I'm gonna start tacking them in place and welding them up.
Okay.
Gotta finish making the tabs for the skid plate underneath, and working on the front firewall, I guess you can call it.
Front firewall. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a whole lot of welding.
A whole lot of welding.
Yeah, a whole lot of welding. But that's about it for now.
So how long are you into it at this point?
2 full days.
2 full days of tinning and seam welding.
And welding, yes.
You can TIG at about, what, an inch a minute, maybe?
Probably a little faster than that.
A little bit faster than that. And this is silicon bronze. And why are we using silicon bronze? At this phase in the build.
I always use silicon bronze on like firewalls and stuff because it flexes a little easier when the chassis kind of torques and twists. It doesn't break as bad.
What will steel do?
So if you weld it with steel, it'll kind of crack and break when the chassis flexes.
You want to talk about what we're doing right here? Grab your template and talk about your process.
I haven't really figured that out completely yet, but we can
Grab that piece.
if I can find the piece.
Okay.
So I got this template made for the top piece. I haven't really gotten far past this point, but I gotta figure out how I'm gonna lay out all the sheet metal on the inside here. So I'm gonna go from outside on the top and then break my way down and try to fit flush against all these bars, and then make a hole right here, that way we can bolt through the firewall. And then I gotta integrate it into all this right here and make it look nice.
Ricky's being a little camera shy, so I'm going to talk you through our thought process. The idea here is twofold. Number one, we've got a big skid plate that's gonna sit underneath. The other thing is, we know that we're going to have to add plumbing and whatnot to the top. So the main reason we want to skin it on the bottom of the tube is would be specifically this crevice. So if the sheet metal was sitting on top, all that dust and dirt and everything would basically, this would be here, obviously. So all that dust, that dirt, those rocks and stuff would get stuck up in here. If it's a flat sheet, number one, it's not going to catch all that debris because the full chassis is going to get powder coated. And if it was to get damaged, then you have to pull. I mean, obviously you have to gain access, but in all reality, we can pull the motor out in like an hour or two, as easy as this thing's set up to be serviced. And then we can flip the chassis back on its side in order to cut off the offending or damaged panel, and then it can all be repaired from the outside. So our seat mounts and our center console, our shifter cables, our brake lines running to the rear, our cutting brake, like all that stuff, we won't have to pull any of those items up in order to repair a damage to the bottom or making modifications. The other thing is, we are going to put a full center protective console type, so it'll have like a waterfall coming down and then turn back underneath the seats, so that you basically have another firewall between any type of fluids or cables or wiring and the passenger compartment. The next reason is insulation. So this is actually going to be driven on the street. We don't, it's a long way to Glamis for us. So this thing is going to be a cool street car. And the reality of it is, Mike's wife, Julia, the more comfortable you are, the more okay you are with this kind of project. So we're going to make Mama happy. That's the whole point of making sure some of this stuff is done the way we're wanting to do it. This is a first on this level for me. Ricky, you normally build drag cars.
Yeah, I build drag cars.
Yep.
This is a first for me as well.
Yep, first for you as well. So we're trying to do it the right way. We take inspiration from a lot of other guys, much like Kibbe, much like Morgan Clark and RJ Fab and Ocho Fab and all these guys we watch on like the Terra Crew stuff. So I've been spending like a year doing research and watching all that stuff. Not only did I already like it, but really just focusing and paying attention on the techniques and the methods, the how and the why. So anyways, so that's where we're at. We're trying to do it the right way. We're trying to do it the cool guy way. We want to make awesome things. You know us, we like to build cool shit, and this is pretty freaking cool. All right, so that wraps it up for episode 1 of the Metal Daddy Baja Bug. That's right. Mikey, we sure appreciate you giving us the opportunity to do this, and we will catch you on the next episode. Be sure to check out the merch store down below, because remember, kids, there is no such thing as a bolt-on. Hey, that's a t-shirt. It's in our merch store. Throw it up on the screen. That's right. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out our other videos. We got a lot of Bronco stuff coming, and we've done a lot of Bronco stuff, and we got a lot of overland stuff and race car stuff and all kinds of cool things. Boys, tell them bye. We'll see you on the next one.